All right, I'm live, and hopefully some of you will come live soon. This is Tori Christman, aka Tori Magoo 44. I was in Scientology for 30 years. I woke up and escaped out in 2000, July of 2000. And I really wasn't going to say anything. And I told the people that were helping me that said, why don't you just come visit for a couple of weeks? I said, okay, but I'm not going to pick it. I'm not going to make videos. I'm not going to speak out. And all of a sudden, from LA, and I've said this many times, in LA, I was a Scientologist. By the time I got to Tampa, Florida, hey, Leanna, hiya. Hi, Verity, hello. By the time hi, memes. By the time I got to Tampa, I was an activist because of all the stuff that they had done. They made me into an activist. They have kept me an activist. And now I've been speaking out for 24 years. Hi, JB808. Thank you for going live. You are welcome. It's Midnight with Magoo. I know I started a channel where I do Midnight with Magoo, and I try to do it, probably a few times a week. It ended up, I was way up late, too late, and then sleeping in too much, and it just wasn't working out. So I'm trying to do it a little bit earlier, and then, it moves into Midnight with Magoo, but it doesn't start at midnight because it just got to be too late. Anyway, how are you guys doing? Hello. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming by. I greatly appreciate it. And for anybody that comes after the show, because that seems to be a big deal for people where they miss the live. But, it's still, I love the comments, so I always read them the next day. Hi, Leanna. Hello. It's so fun to see you guys. You're really cool. So hopefully you all had a great Thanksgiving weekend. It's quite all right. It's only 9:42 p.m. here. All right. Because you're in Hawaii, is that right? JB808? Yes? Or is it Alaska? I forget. I'm bad with keeping places where people are. Tell me where you are. Anyway, so the topic for tonight, Hawaii. That's right. All right. I remembered it. I was right the first time. Good. So yeah, it's much earlier. I remember that from doing sales because we always had to call Hawaii, like, everyone else we would call it 9 a.m, but Hawaii we had to call them. It was, we had to call a little later because it was earlier, I think, or vice versa. All right, it's 8:42 in Scandinavia. Hi, Pixie, 3:14. And it's 6:42 in Sydney. Oh, I love that you guys are telling me the times. That is très cool. And hi, Nanya. I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Thank you. And Mims 222. It's 7:42 in London. Wow, look at the variety of people. I love that. That is fantastic. So look at the variety of time zones we're in. Charles, hi. It's global. I know. It's really great. It really is. I am doing great. I'm doing really, really well. I'm very happy. I had a wonderful Thanksgiving. It was super fun. And I'll tell you, the night, well, I spent some time with my son, which was great. We had a wonderful time together. He's a great guy. And so then the next day, about 4 of us went up to the Castaways, which is a restaurant up on I call it the mountains, but it's really the hills up in Burbank. And oh my God, they had a great Thanksgiving spread. It was incredible. I mean, we had this great booth, so we had a wonderful view. They sat down and put this kind of like a cutting board, it looked like, but it had all kinds of appetizers and morning breakfast kind of, sweet rolls and stuff like that. Not that I needed them, but trying to picture the car on the stairs. I know that happened yesterday. I finally met Sophie, who is from New Zealand, and she was here, and I got to see Lovett and Witness. So we all got together, and Witness was kind enough to come pick me up and take me to where we were going. This is a little off topic from the topic, but I just want to tell you that because Charles mentioned the car. So I did not know there's a restaurant in Griffith Park. There's a huge park. I think it's one of the biggest parks in the United States in LA, and it's called Griffith Park. And in Griffith Park, there is a restaurant, which I really didn't know. I know there's a ton of hiking trails and the observatory and a lot of cool things, but I didn't know there was the little restaurant, and not a sit-down restaurant, kind of an outside camping. We just got sandwiches and coffee and, got to chat and had a great time. But at the end, Witness said, why don't I just come pick you up? And so she comes down this dirt road and didn't see the stairs and ends up driving on the stairs. Now we're stuck on the stairs. And so one of the guys that worked there was kind enough to come out and try to put, like rocks in front of the tires to see if we could make that work. But that didn't work. So anyway, then they brought the guys that work in the park, the park rangers. They tried some stuff and said, no, you've got to call AAA. So I called AAA. They came. He said, I'm actually going to have to build a little ramp for you to drive on. But he did, and we got off it, and we were all okay. So it was quite an adventure. It really was. Now let me just check a couple of things here. I'm a foodie, so I yelped Castaway Burbank, and the food, I know it's really, really good. And the view is fabulous. I mean, it's I can't say enough about it. I love it. Wednesday Northern, wow, 5:45 in Australia. That's tomorrow. Wow, that's amazing. Beautiful ambience and scenery. Yeah, it is. It's really, really lovely. It's if you're anywhere in LA, I highly recommend it. Even if it's kind of on the pricier side for food, but you can always go up there and just have a drink and some appetizers and sit out on the patio, and the view is just awesome. It's really fun. Hey, Tori, LOL, my car was beached. I know. Witness, hi. Thank God that you got home all right and everything. And you checked it out and the car's all okay. Hi, Hans Christian Schwartz. Thank you. Good morning. Apologies for joking about setting you up on a date with Ted, the security guard, on Natalie's channel. I missed it. Sorry. I wasn't there, but that's okay. It doesn't, if you knew all the shit that I've gone through with people online, it's like, hey, it's another thing. I hear people talk about stuff and I just think, if these guys had to live through what I lived through, and there was very little support at the time, they would not believe it. I mean, really, it's one of those things. It's amazing. One of these times, Bunker and I will make a video about it, about the older days. I feel like my grandfather or something. I got home okay. I haven't had the car checked yet. Ooh, get it car checked. Remember, you said right away, take it in and have them just check it out real quickly. But don't worry about it, Gregory. That's fine. I have traction plates and check blocks in car. It's almost required here in Africa. Ooh, you're in Africa. Ooh, one of my dreams. Well, anyway, I'm saying it's okay, but if you I don't know. I don't care if you made fun of me having a date with Ted. That's funny. William Streets got the security guard Ted very angry last night. I know. I saw it. But Streets at the end came around where he went, this is sort of, why don't we just talk? You know what I mean? Because it's kind of like fighting. What's the point? It doesn't really go anywhere. But I have to tell you, if you have not seen the Christmas parade with SteetsLA, you have got to rewatch. Go to SteetsLA. I think he's under Scientology audits, SteetsLA, and you've got to go see it. And if you can't watch the whole thing, just scoot along to at least the middle and watch it from the middle, because the float deflates and it is hysterical. And it deflates. That's what the topic is. Man down, Scientology, man down. It's Streets. He's walking along yelling this, man down, Street. Come on, you guys are screwing up. It's so funny. And the whole float finally, it's a pirate. The float is a pirate, which is sort of stupid for Christmas. but it's one of LRH's science fiction things, somebody told me. And you actually see him kind of go down, down, down. And Streets is there going, "You're screwing up. He's going down. He's going down." It is so funny. I'm telling you, you've got to watch it. I know, it's really, really funny. So Freebird 67. I'm originally Zimbabwe. Ooh, I assume you're in South Africa. What time there? Ooh, yeah, good question. And funny. It's really hysterical. It really is. It's way, and to think of what these guys have done in just 1 year. I mean, it's amazing. Every Scientology building, and I don't think people get what that means, but their testing center is closed. It's been closed for a year. So they haven't been able, excuse me, I've got a real bad frog in my throat. But they haven't been able to recruit kids for a year, that we know of. It's like they're certainly not from the testing center. They're not getting people in. Okay, so there's that. Sorry, I'm going to have to eat this, but it's because my throat, I've got to get it going so I don't have to keep gargling. I've got a frog in my throat. Hi, Rowan. Good to see you. Rowan and Drew and I used to protest all the time together. We did what we called flash pickets because Anonymous would announce where they were protesting. So tons of people would come. So that was good. But Scientology always knew where they were going. So they'd set up all these barricades for us. But so Rowan and Drew and I and a few others just started doing these flash pickets where we just go wherever. And they'd freak out because they were totally not ready for us. It was really funny. But it's good to see you, Rowan. We have to get together this Christmas. Like at one point, Witness said, like at one point, the float was totally prone. It was so funny. I know. The whole thing, it's really worth it if you like comedy. Good evening, Tori, and happy holidays. Thanks for being you. You are welcome, Brian. Thanks for the nice compliment. Hey, Rono, see, I remember your video with Patty, the handler. And the best video Rowan ever made, I think, that's the funniest, showing Scientology and really how weird they are. What was the name of that, Rowan, where we went to the top of the Kodak Center? And I had my sign upside down because it was private property. And I'm just swinging this sign. And it was a big IAS event. And it was up on the roof. They had the penthouse or something. It was like they had to go up an escalator. And so I'm just right there, and Rona's going, "Ladies and gentlemen." Oh, God, it was so funny. His narration of it was really, really funny. I wish I could remember the name of it. See if you can remember the name of it. Yeah, post a link to it. That would be great. It's really funny. And Rowan is just hysterical. And the Scientologists are funny, too, because, the wall, I think it's a wall, the mighty wall of OTs. I think it's something like that. Anyway, they ended up making a wall trying to block me from people seeing my sign, which just said Scientology, stop hurting families. And they end up, with all these guys shoulder to shoulder. And I'm just, doing my sign all over the place. It's really funny. I'd love to check out the videos. Yeah, you got to see the one with Streets. It's really, really funny. Those guys in 1 year, every building in Los Angeles, every Scientology building, every window from the 15th or 18th floor on down to the ground closed. The doors are closed. It's almost like people are not welcome. It's really, really weird, Scientology. What are you thinking, David Miscavage? As Natalie says, I need one of those Miscavige dolls. Osa, wake up. Okay, you got part 1, you said, but I don't see the link to it, Rowan. You said that's part 1, but the link, I don't see it. I'll post those. Give me a second. Okay. Question, does LRH talk about Xenu and any other lectures? Not that I know of. It's very top secret. Scientology is like a triangle. And no one, that's why I always say, don't even bother yelling out Xenu, because it doesn't, these guys from the very top, only the top guys know about it. All the rest, they don't. They've never heard of it. They don't know it. If they do hear it, they go in and say, hey, they're talking about Xenu. What is that? And they go, oh, you don't believe everything you read. These people are crazy. They just learn stuff on the internet and it's not true. And they think it's true. And yeah, I know, Verity, perfect. Streets was like a coach directing the traffic. That is exactly right. And it was really funny when the I don't know if you watch the whole thing, but if you watch the whole thing, especially from the middle on down, he starts bending in the knees, and that's when Street starts yelling, man down, you're screwing up, man, come on, get it together. And it's so funny to hear Streets yelling at these Sea Org guys, get it together. And then it actually goes all the way down right in front of the HGB, which is the Scientology executive building. It's so funny. I was like, oh my God. I want to know the backstory behind Xenu. Okay. Halberd was a science fiction writer. I mean, you can go on, let me show you the site again. The entire thing is written out there. It doesn't really have the backstory, but it has what, if you did OT3, this is what you would read. And it's there on Xenu.net. Okay, yeah, late at night, late with Tori. Hi, Mark. Wait, what happened? Okay, so anyway, that's my best shot on that, but you can Google around and ask people for more backstory, because there's probably people that do know more stuff. I know we got to read it on OT7. They let us read the backstory of OT3, and it was really freaky. And then they put it away. And they said, no, you guys can't ever read it again. And we said, that's so out-tech. It's like you show us some references on how this is working, and then we can't ever read it again. And that's exactly what happened. I know, Witness, it's really funny. All right, and here's Charles says, I'd like to know what they do there, but the CFS Media Center looks open. Oh, it's decorated with lots of holiday lights. I'll have to go by. Thanks for letting me know. Do you live in the area, Charles? I think I've asked you that before, but I never got an answer. Late Night with Tori, that is correct. Midnight with Magoo. There is a link, parts 1 and 2. Okay. So far, I don't see the links. Does anyone else see the links? I don't see them. I don't know whether... Are you posting them here on this, Rowan? Because I don't see them. It says right here, you say, here, these are the links 1 and 2. The next one, Verity says, yep, Witness. Start about 30 minutes into the Streets video. Yeah, it's really funny. I mean, the whole thing is funny. I've watched it a couple of times. It cracks me up. Funny how much effort they put into hiding the blow up aliens. I know, it is. And it's a pretty popular thing. It's stupid that they are. Hi, YRB. The Parade is a new classic. I know, it is. It is a classic. And especially that the Streets is there going, man down, man down. And that it's in front of the Scientology Executive Center. I just thought, oh my God, these guys are going to be on the RPF for a very long time. And yeah, we can't see the links. Try it again, Rowan. See if you can post them again. I think you're right on that. Hans Christian Schwartz says Xenu is the worst science fiction ever written down. I think you're right on that. Hey, witness. She's saying hi. Good to see you. All right. And Angela Von Hale. All right. It's 8:58 in Switzerland. Wow, what a ray of wonderful people. Thank you for all coming. That's fantastic. I would love to be in Switzerland also. Oh, okay. You live in Hollywood, close to the 101 and Netflix. Perfect. I know exactly where you are. I mean, I know where you're around. We should get together sometime. Send me a private message and we get together. Plan some things. All right. The links never showed up. I know. Weirdo that he doesn't know. He probably posted them, but for some reason they won't show up here. Let's see. Where else could we put them? I love how you embrace the new generation of protesters, streamers, instead of having a chip on your shoulder and criticizing them. Shows how youthful your spirit is. I love them. I mean, I think they're fucking fantastic. I mean, these kids are really something. The only problem they have is with each other, and they need to get over that. You know, because it never helps. It never helps, and it's a huge win for OSA. So everybody, even if they say, I don't care about OSA, if you don't care about OSA and you've ever been in sports, you have to know what the goal is. If you don't know the goal or the rules, there's no point in playing the game. So OSA's game is to get people fighting. That's their number one. Well, first of all, number one is to distract it off of Scientology. But number two, hi, Danny. Number two is get people fighting with each other. So it's like, no, ain't doing it. Not going to do it. I don't care. It just, you're not going to get any stits from me, Osa. No. I don't see the links directly. You don't see the links directly above. I don't, Rowan, and I don't think anybody else does either, but I'll roll up again and see if we see them. Rowan. Keep your bonnet going. Okay, I missed this YRB. Streets could feel Ted's energy was already peaked and looked for a fight with Dan. So Streets deflated Ted's need to yell and be angry and took the heat. This did not allow Ted to. Oh, that's good. Thank you for explaining that. I didn't know that. I missed that. So thank you for explaining that. I'm still happy that at the end, Streets said, all right, it's better to just come together. I don't think those were his words, but it was something like that. Okay, I know, Charles, man. That was near you. If you're right there by Netflix, wow, you're really close. Okay, Rowan, yeah, unfortunately, no, it isn't. I think that video, God, I don't know. We've got to figure out a place where we could put it. You know where you could put it is on my Facebook site. You could put them there, right, Rowan? On Tori Magoo 44 on Facebook. I don't know that everybody has Facebook, but the people that do, they could go see it then. That's the only thing I can think of. And I can ask Bunker tomorrow if he can put it on. He might know how to put it on the Tori Magoo 44 YouTube site. It should be on here because I think we did years ago. It's just probably way down somewhere. Okay, Aaron likes the South Park depiction of the Xenu story. I know a lot of people do. It's funny. I mean, it is. It is very funny. So, hi, BN. Hi, Tori from South Central Florida, LaBelle. Okay, hopefully you're not having the humidity already. Coffee first, please, to post links. Okay, to post links, what does that mean? You can go to coffee first, please, and post, and they'll let you post the links or something. I'm not quite sure. I don't know what to post links, you go there. I don't know. But everyone, please hit the like button. Question, do you have any friends from Scientology that disconnected from you that you still miss? Oh, sure. Yeah, I have many friends that, most of my friends that stayed in. I it's one of those things where there's nothing I can do. They won't talk to me. I don't even see them. It's really weird because I live here in Burbank in the same place I lived when I was in Scientology for a lot of it from 82 on. And I used to see people all the time. Tori, hi, and we'd hug, it was like amazing. And now I never, ever, ever see a Scientologist. I saw my best friend and her daughter one time, Phyllis Berker and Denise Duff. And Denise went, Tori! And then she realized I had left, and she turned around and told her mom, and her mom just gave me that filthy, like you're horrible. I was like, okay, whatever. And that was it. And the only other person I saw was Mario Fenninger, who's a musician, or was when I was in at Celebrity Center. And I saw him at Costco. He was very old at the time, a very old man. And I said, Mario, hi. And he just looked so happy that someone recognized him. And he said, hi. He recognized my face, I could tell. And we talked for a few minutes. It was really sweet. But yeah, sure, I miss him. I miss my ex-husband. I miss, thank God I got my son out of Scientology. And I do miss, I couldn't say a ton, but I miss a lot of people that died also. I mean, like Phyllis died. My best friend, Cam Solari, she died. It's like, it's sad. There's a lot of Scientologists that died, and I miss those guys too. So, yeah, but but I have wonderful friends that I've made here in LA. I've reconnected with a lot of ex-Scientologists. I've made friends around the world, including all of you. And it's just been such an expansion. It's so ironic because when you're in, they really make you feel like there's nothing outside. Nothing. They're just logs. You don't want to have anything to do with them. And you guys probably think, oh, you'd never believe that, but you've probably lived most of your life with the internet. We didn't, so it was a different thing. It was a different time. The only way you could find out what you guys know and what I'm talking about and what other people talk about and what's written and all the stuff that's on the internet now, for years and years and years, the only way you could find out is to go over to a declared suppressive person's house. And this is my SP Declare. And Pete Griffith, if you see it, you can have a drink. He used to have a drinking game where every time I showed my SP Declare, he could take a shot. Anyway, he's in Ireland. A great guy. But, yeah, that was the only way you could find out. So most people, you just didn't know, and then when the internet came out, they were really big on nobody's on the internet, and they weren't. I still don't think most Scientologists are. I never know. I often wonder if they're, lurking and watching, because the internet's everywhere now. You can go in a coffee shop and set up your laptop and look, whereas in the old days, I mean, somebody was always around you. And they'd be like, wait a minute. And then they'd report you. Tori was on the internet. That kind of thing. When I first woke up, this was in 2000, I'm in my house all by myself in Burbank, California. And I literally, I had tried to get rid of Bunker on Battlefield Earth. It was a message board, and that didn't work. So I got rid of the message board. I just called up Warner Brothers and said, this is ridiculous, and it's all this stuff about Scientology and who cares, and I'm just a fan and I don't want to see all this Scientology stuff. So they said, okay, we'll have the head of it call you. And the next day I got a call from Time Warner in New York. This is Mr. So-and-so, and we got your message and we're taking down that message board. And I thought, wow, in a way it was like, as a Scientologist, it was like, wow, I got rid of all this end data, right? But on the other hand, I really missed them. To me, it was like you guys and they were like the original cowboys. You know, they could do what they wanted. They could say what they wanted. They could go where they wanted. They didn't have to report to anybody. Whereas in Scientology, every single thing they're monitoring. You know, you can't read this. You can't watch the TV on this. Don't go to this movie. Vote for these people. You know, it's just on and on and on. Control, like, ugh. And it's if you're in Scientology, the way out is the nearest door. It really is. Hubbard said the way out is the way through, but he didn't use it himself. He just took off. So you can't too. Just open the door, walk out. There is nothing they can do. Nothing. They can try to, you know, group around you and say you have to come to ethics. No, you don't. You don't owe them any money. You don't owe them any time. You just walk out the door. And you have to walk. I mean, the police helped. I mean, I think Mark Headley, I think the police, he was on a motorcycle leaving gold out in Hemet, and the police, I think, helped him. I do. Or maybe I'm thinking of Jesse Prince. I can't remember. Oh, wait. Oh, good. You saw this. Hi, Witness. I saw you earlier tonight with Doug Kramer's stream. It was great to see you there. Thank you. Yeah, I loved Doug. I really did. It was, we had an interview to set up a week after he passed away. He was another ex-Scientologist who passed away too young, way too young. So they did a little thing tonight in honor of him. And okay, now this is from Coffee First, Please. Read the line above. Okay, the line above says, do you have friends from Scientology that disconnected from you that you still miss? I answered that. And above that is Charles saying Aaron likes the South Park thing. So I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. Marwa, hello, Tori. I'm watching from Sweden. All right. Oh, my goodness. I wish somebody would keep a list of Witness. Would you write down all these different countries? I just think it would be so cool to have a list of all the different countries. It would be really, really neat. And as soon as I think you said I can end it, but it won't. All these comments won't go away. So maybe I can. But if you can, do it. Or if somebody wants to. Okay. Haha. Cold front. Ooh, get it 38 degrees. Woo! Where are you? Wow, I grew up in Chicago, and that's getting there. Yeah, really. Okay. Now this is JB808 Witness. Really? I didn't know such a video existed. I'll have to check it out. Oh, the one about the Doug Kramer's stream. Yeah, I think it was on Kaylee's site, right? Maybe you can post which site it was on, because it wasn't, Doug is gone. And I'm not sure whose site it was on. I think it was Kaylee. I do. But if you can post that, Witness, that'd be great. Morning, lovely Tori here, 8:06. Ooh, very frosty and cold. Woo! That is super early in the morning. I don't envy you. Okay, JB808, it was on Kayla and Gretchen's channel. Oh yeah, Mental Health Matters. That's right. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. I knew you'd remember. Thank you. Yeah, and it was for Doug. It was really nice. It was. His best friend was on there, and Marisa and me, and were you on it with this? No, I think it was Kaylee. I couldn't quite see. Everybody was like really, really tiny for me. It was very hard to see stuff. You found it. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, good. I'm glad you found it. Thank you, Witness. Or Janet from another planet. Hello. Hi. If you haven't subscribed, please do. That's a great nick. And welcome. And for everybody, if you haven't hit the like button, please do. I greatly would appreciate it. It's almost impossible to be a Scientologist if you research it. I looked on both sides, and it's not hard to see the truth. That is true. The difference is they get people in and they mind control. I had some academics who study mind control come interview me when I escaped out. And they said the two worst cults are the Moonies and Scientology. And I said, really? Why? And they said, because they build in traps into your mind so you can't talk to other people. And that's definitely Scientology. That's part of their keeping Scientology working, which is right away. You get it right away. And you've got to stay on the path, be on the path. If you see anybody that gets off the path, you've got to report it. You know, it's intense. And I'm sure for most of you, you'd go, I would never do that. And if I heard me even at 22, I would be like, no way, I'm not joining that. Not even for a minute. But I didn't. Do you know what I mean? I didn't at all. And the guy that talked to me didn't convince me of anything. He just said, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to help people. I want to become an auditor, which is like a counselor. And he said, okay, well, let's go talk to the auditors. And they were all outside. Back then, it was really popular. Now you look at L. Ron Hubbard Way and you can see the photographs. It's just empty. There's no one there. But back in the old days, it was on Temple Street, but it was filled with people. Like 200 people were on course, on the briefing course. Now Miscavage has canceled the briefing course. Way to go, Dave. It's almost impossible. Okay. Yeah, if you research it, I think you're right. I just think it's tricky. Question, did you know that Scientology actress from the 70s named Lee Purcell? I did, yeah. I didn't real close, but I knew her. I'm on it, Tori. Oh, thank you, Witness. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Okay. No, Marcus from In Theta was there, small on screen. Oh, Marcus. Yeah, Marcus. That's right. That was his best friend. That's what he said. He said we were best friends. So he was really hard to see. I could barely, I could see Marisa probably the boat met. And then she vanished. I don't know what happened there. We got USA, UK, Africa, Sweden, and Australia in the house. Yeah. Cool. Very cool. And remember the states too, because there's different people in different states in America, and that's important too. All right, Janet, thank you so much. I'm really happy you're here, Janet, from another planet. That is, are you an ex-Scientologist or a critic? Critics are people that were never in, but they're helping us expose the abuses of the Church of Scientology. But Janet from another planet, I have a feeling you were in. Maybe not. Thanks, Verity. Witness said, thanks, Verity. Oh, Verity got that. Okay, thank you, Verity. Thank you for putting those together. And Verity, do you have my email? Because can you email that to me? Well, let's see, wait. The easiest would be, here's my email. ToriChristman44@gmail.com. Or you can text it to me at this number. There you go. And those are both on my YouTube site. You can just pull them up underneath Tori Magoo 44. It says for more information, and that's all in there. Uh-oh. I have to unclick it. I always forget to do that. All right. So, you're never in. Okay, good for you. I'm always so happy about people that were never in. It's so great. Hi, love it. Hi, welcome. Good to see you. It was so fun to see you and Sophie and Witness. And what a wild ride Witness and I had. Anyway, I explained it earlier if you want to hear it. So that's good. Love it's been on a really wild trip to all over the place, but mainly I want to hear more about Greece and see photographs of it. So hopefully, are you going to put up like a little Facebook site or a website, or how can we see the photographs? Because that'd be fun. It'd be really fun. Anyway, she's been on a trip to quite a few places, I think, and now she's home. So that's good. Welcome back. And this is Janet from Another Planet, a new subscriber who just showed up. And I've been watching you since the Mark Bunker days. Wow, that's amazing. I can't believe that. That's really cool. Oh, I told her I love her Nick. It's really great. All right. Leslie Ann. All right. Wait. Hello, love it. All right, cool. That's amazing that you've been watching since the bunker days. That's right when I escaped out, 2000. Yeah. Well, good job that you're saying hello. I'm glad you joined us. And love it. I'm really glad you're home. I am. I was happy you were traveling because that was cool, but I'm happy you're home. It's a fact. And I hope, did Sophie get home? Did she get home already? That I don't know about. But anyway, I was telling them, love it, if you haven't seen, I think I told you about it, but the Hollywood Parade, did I tell you about it? I think I did. Yeah, because I told Witness about it. With the man down. But I rewatched it again, and it's literally about the halfway point. His knees start bending, and Streets is there going, "Come on, man down. His knees are bending." And by the time he gets in front of the HGB, which is about right here, he's all the way down. And from the rest, they just have to pull him along the street. And Street said to one of the guys, because this one lady came out, she goes, "You all did a great job." He said, "They didn't do a great job. This is a mess." And he looked at this one guy and he said, "You did all the work." And the guy literally waved at him. And I thought, wow, that's big. That is really big. For Sea Org, it is. Okay, Witness. Yes, Tori. Sophie was in chat during the mental health. Oh, I see. I just missed her earlier. Yeah, because I got my new laptop today. I started the process. I'm going to pick it up tomorrow. I'm so excited. And you guys all helped me get it. So I'm really excited. Thank you so much. Sophie's home safe and sound. Oh, good to know. Good to know. Back in New Zealand. I bet you she's, as much as she liked it here, it's always fun to get home. It always is. So that's good. Really good. Well, the difference in 1 year from 1 year ago, that's when I met Jessica and saw Streets. And that was from my friend Andrew, who worked at the Egyptian Theater, which is right next to the testing center. Charles, you'd know that, the Egyptian Theater. And Andrew and I became really good friends. And so he called me up, JB808, thank you. He called me up and he said, "You got to go to TikTok." And I said, "No, I don't do TikTok." Because I always end up with all this junk. I don't know how everybody finds this good stuff on TikTok. Because I always end up with these young kids dancing around and it's just stupid, And so I said, "No, I'm not going to TikTok." And he said, "Tori, go to TikTok and type in JessicaPalmadessa." And so I thought, okay, Andrew knows me good enough that if he said it twice, I'm going to do it. Excuse me. So I did. And there she is out in front. If you haven't seen the old, go to December of last year and watch her, or December or January. Oh my God, it's so funny. I mean, it's before they got her TikTok canceled, hers and Streets. They got their TikToks canceled. Way to go. Oh, so way to go. You just keep making those enemies bigger and bigger and bigger. And now you really screwed it up with these two. Oh my God. But, to look at what's happened in this town, the entire Scientology buildings, all the windows are shut down. Why? Because everybody's got cameras and they're filming them. And who knows what they're doing. I mean, there was nothing, when I was in, there was really nothing that exciting to film, but they're so paranoid that they don't want anyone to see anything. That's just the way it is. That's what I think. So anyway, it's a dramatic change a year later to see that float halfway through the thing to just go like, see the guy's knees bend and to hear Streets going, man down, man down. And then to see the thing go, it got a hole in it is what happened. But thank you. I know, love it. I'm so excited. And Bunker helped me with it. Witness did on part of it, and I got one, and it came Witness. I've got it. But then Bunker looked at the hardware of the other one that I was going to get, and he said, nah, it's not that good of a webcam, and the screen is not that good, and you need a really good screen and a good webcam, because that's all I mainly do. So he said he found one on Best Buy to get, and it's a little bit more expensive, but not much. And even the guy at Best Buy went, whoa, this is a good laptop. Because I said, do you think it's a good laptop? Is it okay? And he looked at it and he goes, oh my God, yeah, you got some. He said, actually, you have way more than you need, than you'll probably ever need. But anyway, I was happy with it. It's better to have more than less. Thank you, love it. I appreciate that. Streets played the reverse Uno card and turned the bull baiting back on Scientology. Exactly, JV808. Oh, and did he do it magnificently? I mean, it is hysterical. I dare anybody to watch, at least from the middle on, and not just crack up. I mean, everyone that I've talked to who sees it goes, oh my God. I played it for Spanky. She laughed her ass off. It was like, oh my God. Streets played yeah, that's right. The reverse Uno card. That's good. That's really good. Good spotting on that. So anyway, it's fun to see it 1 year later, see that they have got these guys, because of their cameras and their presence and sticking with it, they have successfully shut down Scientology. I mean, they really have. And I'm sure they're still getting money in and stuff like that, but it's nothing like what it was. And it's like, I really don't know where you're going to go, Miscavage. I don't. But this is karma. I've told you for years. I said, TikTok, time is on our side. And that means, because in years past, in 2000 to 2008, until Anonymous showed up, I felt like I was in an alleyway being raped by the Church of Scientology. It was like they were lying about me, and they had paid two women to just post lie after lie after lie after lie. They posted my phone number up on a porn site and had all these porn guys call me. But I made connections, and my computer geek friends hooked. I said, look, here's what's going on. And they said, get us the URL. We'll check it out. And they had a guy named Truth Seeker who had been writing lie after lie after lie about me. And they checked it out, and they said the same computer that Truth Seeker has is the same computer that the URL for a good time call Tory has. And I said, what do I do? And they said, call the police. It's a federal crime. So I did. The police came over. They made a police report on Truth Seeker. And we posted it on Google and ARS and all over the place. And that guy vanished forever. And it was like, yes. So I've been through some stuff. I really have, but successfully. And thankfully, Scientology has kept me a critic. I mean, many, many times I thought, you know what, I'm done. I've said everything. I don't need to say anything more. That's it. I'm done. And then they do something, and it ticks me off, and I'm back. That's just the way it is. And after COVID, I was done, because all these guys had learned how to do all those flashy things on the camera, on the videos, and I don't know how to do those. So I just thought, okay, I'm done. That's it. And then I saw Jessica, and I thought, oh God, I got to go meet her. And I got Drew, and I said, Drew, because he and I and Rowan used to pick it together. And I said, let's go meet the kids. Let's find them. So we went to the testing center. They weren't there. We went to Celebrity Center. They weren't there. So then we went to the L. Ron Hubbard Way, and I said, there they are. They're down in the middle of the street. So we drove up, and they go, Tori Magoo, hi, we know you. So anyway, we had a great time. And I asked Jessica, I said, would you come over and show me how to do this? And she was so cool. And she said something to me I'll never forget, because I said, I don't know how to do all that fancy stuff with the computers. And she goes, nobody gives a shit about that. Don't worry about it. Just tell your stories. That's what everybody wants to hear. And it really helped because it was just like this whole revitalization for me. It was really great. And you guys have just been fabulous. I mean, I just can't thank you enough. I mean, everybody that has been part of my whole site, it's just been so great for so long. Like, look at this lady. I mean, this is so amazing. Janet from Another Planet I've been watching you since Mark Bunker days. That's 2000. Some of the people that are on my YouTube site, like Jessica, she wasn't even born, I don't think then, or maybe she was, but she's pretty young. It's like, this is really cool. Okay, good to know, witness, that Sophie was there. I'm sorry I missed her. Oh, now let's see. Charles said this. What did he say? William was just talking about it tonight, about how it started last year after he saw the guy at the testing center. I know, who told him to get off the sidewalk. I mean, what a bunch of idiots. Here's Streets, who lives on the street. His nickname is SteetsLA, right? And he says, get off the street. You don't have a right to be here. And he's like, pardon me? What the hell is this? Not going to happen, man. And here he is a year later with the balloon deflating and him going, man down, you're screwing up. You screwed up, man. It was really great. He really nailed him. He's the only person I know that can yell and it doesn't, he's so direct the way he yells things. It isn't like screaming, like just like yelling at people. It's yelling to someone. And it really makes a difference, I think. Scientologists have no shot against Streets. I know they don't. They really don't. They don't. And they would be smart to try to, I don't know what they can do. I really don't. They're just screwing up more and more and more. But this Christmas parade was a classic. And I said on his site, it's not just a man down, it's the Church of Scientology down. That's the truth. That's really it. It's happening. And it's amazing. We're watching it. And it's the same BS regurgitated year after year. Stupid OSA. Come on, man. I know, but it's not the same. It's much worse than it was. They have never had a year with all the windows shut down. No. And the testing center shut down. No, that has not happened. They do the same stupid stuff. You're right. But that's them. They want to keep doing the same stuff, and more and more people come on and go, hey, I agree with you. You can't stop free speech, break up families, steal money from people, won't give it back to them, won't talk to me. They owe me $1 million. Will they talk to me? No, not ever. Have they ever even heard my side of my story? Ever? No. So guess what? I'm on the internet, and that's why, because they won't listen. And that's going to keep happening, Scientology. And it's like more and more and more people, like Spanky said tonight, for every Scientologist who's in, there's 1,000 that are out. And that's a fact that they can't face. They can't face it. Good, witness. You found Jessica through me. Yeah, I know. She's something. She's something to be reckoned with. She and Streets, both of them. So is everybody else. It's been a great group of people that have come and been with it. But those two started it. You know what I mean? For me, I think they started it for everybody. And it's the same. Okay, yeah, there we go. Wait. William Good's war on Scientology started simply with an HGB security guard saying to him, suck my... I know. And that float deflated, flatlined in front of the HGB, where they told him he's not allowed. And he was there 2 nights ago at the parade going, man down, come on, you're screwing up, man. It was so funny to hear him. It was like, oh, it made me so happy. It was like, God, fantastic. Okay, now what does this say? JB808. I was watching that night when you showed up on Confident Chris's, Jessica's, and Hellcat's stream. I was starstruck. Aw, that was fun. That's right. They were all there. That's right. The Hellcat was still around. That's right. Aw, thank you. Well, I'm glad so you were watching it. Okay, good. I've been watching since '08. All right, 49ers for life. Good for you. So that's from the Anonymous days. That was a wild time. Mersey Dotes, hi. Okay, I wonder what became of the poor security guard who first told Streets to suck his. Yeah, I have no idea. But this year, if something really, really bad didn't happen to him this year, it's going to, because of that parade and what happened. I mean, it was a laughing stock. And like Streets would say, don't clap for them. This is Scientology. It's a cult. But instead of just saying a cult, like I typed in his thing, I said, these guys shouldn't even be invited back to the Hollywood Christmas parade ever again, unless they're going to come up with Christmas, but we know they're not. So what's the point of having them? And so Street started talking about that and saying, you guys don't even belong in this parade. And it's true. He's having fun with it like a coach with a bunch of bad news bears. I know, it's so funny. It really is. And they just keep getting worse. That's also funny. I've been watching since last year too. And remember when you came out to find the kids protesting? Cool. Yeah, I was so happy to find them. I really was. It was like, all right, here they are. Time is on our side. It's kind of amazing to me that there aren't more people in my generation that are supporting them. I don't get. I really don't. And what can I say? But Drew and Rowan and Lynn, a few of us who've been protesting Drew was never even in. Lynn and Rowan and I were in. Rowan wasn't in for real long, but Lynn was in. She's like a class 8. So she trained way up, and I'm OT7 class 5, so we were in Scientology for a long time. And a few other people, Graham, Barry used to come and protest with us all the time. So we've been doing that for a long, long time. And time is on our side. That's right. Tick tock, time is on our side. Because I never finished that, because the truth is on our side. So they can say whatever they want to say. And I've stood, let's say my face is the door into the testing center. And I'm on one side and these other people are on the other side. Scientology saying it's really great. And I'm like, there's nothing free in Scientology. And you can tell that people in the middle are kind of confused. It's like, well, who do we believe? And I say, why don't I talk to you for a minute? And I say, look, here's the deal. You don't have to believe either one of us. But the truth is this. The truth is online. And you can go look at it and look at both sides and read their side, read our side, read their side, read our side, and make up your own mind. But I want you to ask yourself this question. Why can't they say that? They can't. Because they can't let people look at the other side. Because Hubbard knew, and Miscavage definitely knows, if people learn the other side, they're going to be out that door in 10 minutes or less. So they can't let them. And so I would say that all the time, and people would just walk on and just like, all right, let's go. We'll go. I'd give them my card. I carry those business cards, and I give them out all the time. They're really great. All right, now this is something from 49ers for Life. Street says stuff that is deep and has meaning. He does, true. AGP just screamed sexual insults that were embarrassing and uncalled for. And oh yeah, I used to always say to the Pope, "Stay away from me. Stay out." That's the angry gay Pope. I would say, "Stay away from me. I don't want you in my videos. I don't want you in my photographs." And the last time I talked to him, he said, "Tori, They were filming me the whole time while he was screaming all these insults into the church. And I said, of course they're filming you, because one day they're going to take you into court. And you know what? It's not going to be a good day for you. I promise you that. And that's happened. I don't know what's happened, but he's pretty much out of the picture. And that's fine with me, because he was just too mean. But the lies, Tori, they are always the same. Yep. True. Well, not always the same. They saying, I'm an undercover top secret CIA agent. That was last Christmas. That was less than it was a year ago. It was a year ago. It was in December. And that was with Rowan. I was with Rowan when we did that. So he knows it. I don't know if he's still on. He goes to bed, I think, pretty early. But they said, they told this guy he was going to give him $5,000. This is a brand new person that was going into LA org. And I said, be careful. These guys lie and they hate me. And he went in, he came out, and I said, he came up to me and he looked kind of white, and he was a wrestler. And he said, wow, they really hate you. And I said, I warned you. So they took him in again. And so I said, don't give him any money. Don't give him your name. So I called him the next day to make sure he didn't, because in the old days, we would always drive out there that night and get the money. I mean, it was like no question. But now I called him. I said, they didn't get the money, did they? And he goes, hell no. He said, I'm going to Japan. I'm done with this shit. And I said, by the way, what did they say about me? Because they used to always just say the same stuff over and over and over. And he said, well, they said that you're an undercover top secret CIA agent. And I just laughed, because for years I've been just an SP. That's it. But it was very funny. We both just laughed. Streets never calls them swear words either. He just calls them goofy. I know. He is a class act. He really is. All right, and this is Verity. I had secondhand embarrassment for Ted last night when he thought he could take on Streets. He was schooled Hyde style. Yeah, I felt bad for him too. I did. I mean, a bit, because Streets was right, but it's like, wrong person to try to, be nasty with. It's just stupid. It's stupid to be nasty anyway. I mean, you're supposed to be representing a church, and it's Christmas time, and you're out in front of Santa Claus being mean. What the hell is that? I mean, it doesn't take a lot of rocket science to realize, Osa, this is like knucklehead stuff. That's what it is. You're acting like knuckleheads. You're being knuckleheads. And as my dad used to say, pinheads. That's Osa. That's it. And Yachty, if you're listening, that is you, because all the stuff that these people don't know, and you're still there. You still stay. And that sucks, man. It really does. For you, not for anybody else. We're out and free. I had secondhand embarrassment. Oh, okay. Okay, this is from Witness. I laughed so hard texting to her. I know. It's just too funny. I saw that too and was so happy to see Tori there. Ah, thank you, love it. I know, that was cool. Bad News Bears, I know, very funny. All right, now this is JB808. Yes, prior to you showing up, I always wondered if you knew about the new streamers protesters and what your thoughts were on them. Was stoked to find out that you were in full support. Oh, 100%. I mean, how could you not be? When I saw Jessica and she was making fun of that lady with the sweeping stuff, Twyla, and she was like, Twyla. And then the guy with the big shoes, and she caught him on video tripping. She is funny. She's really funny. And excuse me, I don't have that, but I have the ability to laugh with someone, and I loved it. I really did. I thought, oh my God. And Streets, how can you not love Streets? I mean, from day one, it was like, oh my God, this guy's fabulous. And I walked up to him. I wanted to meet him. And so I got out, I parked the car and I got out and I said, hi, I just wanted to meet you. And he goes, who are you? Which is really funny. It was like in many, many years, I've run into people, and most people have seen my videos. I mean, people come up to me a lot and go, "Hey, I know you from your videos on YouTube." You know what I mean? Not so much as much now as they did in the beginning, because in the beginning, there weren't that many videos. So a lot of people saw my videos, and everywhere I'd go, they'd be like, "Hey, Tori Magoo." I mean, we went down to see Bernie Sanders downtown at the convention center. There's 37,000 people, and we go there, and we're going up the stairs, and I'm with one of the Scientology sort of celebrity, but not really, but sort of. And we're going up the stairs, and I hear someone say, "Hey," and I think they're talking to Michael. And so I kind of turn around and look at him, and then I look at the guy, and he goes, "Tori Magoo, I'm on your YouTube site." I went, "Oh my God, wild." And then on the way out, this is 37,000 people. Someone's opening the door for us. And another guy goes, "Hey, Tori Magoo, I'm part of your YouTube site." And that wasn't that long ago. I mean, it was kind of long ago, but it wasn't. It's been fun. It's been a fun ride. It really has. Okay, so JB808, love it. Yes, I was fanning out. What does that mean, fanning out? I don't know what that means. And Mersey Dose says, Rowan says 3 or 4 years. What are we talking about here? 3 or 4 years. What are you talking about, Rowan? And then Mersey Dose and Mitch, as far as what? Hey, Tori and Chad. Hi, Connie B. Thank you for coming by. Yep, and if you don't like it, just avoid them. I agree. Tori, CIA agent. I know, isn't that just unbelievable that they would go to that at length? It's like, how stupid is that? Did what? Well, Rowan up here, it says, here, Rowan, 3 to 4 years. And that's why I'm saying 3 to 4 years. It probably is an answer to a question, but it's easier if you say the whole sentence. That's why we ask people to say the whole sentence. So that's what it is. I'm still here. Oh, good. You're still here. Yeah. So Rowan, you were with me weren't you with me? I think it was you, or was it Drew? I got to remember. I think it was Drew when we went to meet the kids. I can't remember. No, I know. It was you who came with me with the CIA agent. That's right. Where that guy, the wrestler, where we did the thing in LA org. I think that was you. And then Drew was with me with the kids. Yeah, that was it. Because we were in his red car. I remember that. Wild times. And I think, Peter, you and Drew came with me, and Lynn. I think all 3 of us went out to Inglewood when the Nation of Islam decided, they were joining Scientology. That's a whole nother thing I've got to bring up. But whoa, that was a wild time. Because you were with me. And they had the security guards from Hollywood. They were there in about 5 minutes. It was really weird. Okay, you remember that guy. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Now I can say I know an undercover CIA agent. Yeah. Me too. Duh, Osa. Exactly. And the thing is, they never get it. They never get it. That's what's really, really weird about it. LOL. I mean, here we are. We're having a good time. Now Streets has the utmost respect for you. I loved how he stopped at what he was doing to say hi to you while you were outside the courthouse not too long ago. I know he's such. I really have the greatest respect for him too. I mean, I really do. He's a really cool guy. And after last night, he's on the top of the list. Man down. He's as funny as Jessica is. They have a really good sense of humor. And I mean, he's not trying to be funny. He's not. It's just his own way of narrating is just great. Like Peter, yours, I hope everybody gets to see the mighty wall of OTs somewhere. It's somewhere, but it's, I think, Rowan and Magoo, and it's funny. I really hope you guys get to see it because it is really, really funny. And it really shows Scientologists how they are. Now, where's Sebastian? I don't know. Oh, Sebastian is the security guard? I don't know. Okay, Mitch is another one of the old ones that are out now and speaking out. Yeah, I was with him tonight. We saw him. Yeah, Mitch Brisker. Yeah, he's got some amazing stories. And David Miscavage, you screwed up on that one, man, because that guy was the filmmaker out at Gold, and he knows a lot of information. It's all I'll say for now. We'll let Mitch uncover it, but it's going to be interesting. Charles Patrick, but where is he? Okay, where's Sebastian? Yeah, probably on the RPF. Love the chapu. What does that mean? I don't know what that word means. Can you describe that, Connie? Okay, here's Rowan. There seems to be a time lag between you speaking and me messaging you back like this. No, I don't think there's a time lag. Well, I mean, there may be a time lag, but it's like, there is, because there's a whole bunch of people in between us that are saying stuff. So, like here you said, did what? I'm still here. Oh, I remember that guy. Okay. But then here's Connie, Witness, Hans, JB 808. And anyway, I don't think there's a lag. It's just it just helps to have the full sentence. Okay. Thought he was sent to Chicago. Could be. Charles Patrick, oh man, I bet he's freezing his butt off. Yeah, if he's in Chicago. Woo! No kidding. How did a racist cult ever manage to snare the Nation of Islam? I know, isn't that just the weirdest? I have to do a whole video on that whole Nation of Islam thing, but I think they're like two failing cults and they came together. Louis Farrakhan, who's part of the Nation of Islam, it's not only a section of the Nation of Islam went with Scientology. But it's weird. I mean, the guys, at first, I thought, okay, Dianetics, I can see him doing it. Now he's clear. Now he's OT3. That's anti-Christ, anti-churches, anti-Jesus. I guess the Muslim thing has a lot of different stuff, but that's pretty intense. Money is colorblind. Yeah, very true on that one. Pretty funny. The Streets video is pure comedy. It is. It really is. And it's one you can see more and more times. Oh, it's a hat. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you for that, Connie. So this is called I don't know quite how to pronounce it, but chapu. There you go. That's my CIA hat. Undercover. Oh, God. Okay, so, okay. It's a hat in French, I believe. Okay, thank you, Witness. I guess you guys both agree on that. Okay, so Rowan says, okay, I see. I just saw that there's a meteor shower starting tonight. After Tori, go outside. Okay, all right, well, everyone hit the like button if you haven't. Thank you for coming. Now, wait, Connie's got a question. Do you think that Scientology will ever go down or be held accountable for all their wrongdoing? I hope so. I mean, I certainly hope the wrongdoings they're held accountable for. I think that's starting. I mean, it's been an evolution of since Scientologists have left, it's been a wave of humongous stuff that they have not been able to handle, and it's just gotten worse and worse until the Christmas float. What were you thinking, having a pirate in a Christmas float with L. Ron Hubbard's Golden Age trunk underneath it? And then it gets a hole in it and the whole thing goes down. Oh, too funny. Too funny. I believe Rowan is saying he was a Scientologist for 4 years. Oh, good. Okay, thank you for that. Thank you, 49ers for Life. All right, good to know. So that's some time. That's some time in. And he's protested for years with us. He's been really great. Sebastian was the top body router at the testing center. Yeah, that's what I thought when the kids were there at the Winter Wonderland. Yeah. And he's gone now. So he's probably on the RPF. Or they've shipped him to Chicago, like somebody said. I don't know. It can take up to a couple of seconds until a comment propagates through the chat. Okay. All right. Good to know. Good to know. But for me, it's important that if you, like, I tried to explain this to the guys early on. It's like if you go, I baked a cake, and then there's like 10 other comments in between. And then the same person that I baked a cake says, but it fell through. So at that point, I'm like, what fell through? I can't remember all of these different comments and all the different stuff that's going on. And then that you baked a cake and it fell through. So it's easier for you to say, I baked a cake. And then if you can't finish it, or you think of another part of it, you go, oh, by the way, I baked a cake and it fell through. Do you see what I mean? So it's a complete sentence the second time. Anyway, it's a simple way to do it. Okay. 3 or years. Okay. Good to know. Thank you. All right. Well, LRH wasn't colorblind. I guess they have managed to pull the wool over their eyes. I have no idea how it works, but I am going to interview my friend Ish, who is part of the Nation of Islam and a critic of Scientology. And so we're going to do an interview together, and hopefully he can explain it to us. Okay, the Chapu is house. Chapu is hat. Oh, I see. Oh, chateau is house. Chapeau is a hat. Okay, thank you for explaining that. All right. It's pronounced chapeau. Okay. All right. And here's Love It. Makes a fortune off of Nation of Islam members doing CFS courses in commission. Oh, Farrakhan does. No. He's not going to make a fortune off them doing courses. Their biggest money is in auditing. But he may make some money. He may. I don't know. Comment, Tori, I was terrified of you when I was in and saw your protest. Now I just adore you. Thank you for all you do. Thank you so much, SP Crusader. That's funny that because you were a critic when I was in, and I would come out and talk to the protesters. But, I wasn't mean. I was never mean to anybody. I really wasn't. I would just be like, what? And a lot of people, I had good success with it. I really did. Anyway, Love It. you might be right. We'll ask Ish when I do my interview about, how much money he's making. But it's got to be something to do with money. You know that. But I'd be interested to see what the hell how did that come together? It's just so weird. Okay, commentary. Oh, yeah, that. All right, we did that. This is Witness. Avast. Yes, mateys. Scientology arg. C of S has arrived to stash your cash in ye chest. People were saying that the night of the float. That's what it represented. Okay, question. Have you seen Scientology put up videos of the members talking about how great of a human DM is? That's a good point. That is a very good question. No, I have not. They really don't. And I frankly, I don't think there's a lot of people that think he's really a great guy. So, most of the people that left, myself included, not that I loved Hubbard, I didn't, but I left because of Miscavage, because he screwed me over on OT7 for 7 years and he wouldn't answer me. And I was a wreck and it really ticked me off. So I left because of him. But I think a lot of people, these ex-Scientologists, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them are still kind of pro Hubbard or not against Hubbard because he left and DM took over. And DM is really screwed up. He has in many, many ways, in my opinion. But factually, when you change the definition of FN, that's a big screw up. That means everything from 1990 to 1950 was wrong. Well, 1950 until the E-meter started. 1950 till the meter started was just, talking. So they didn't have the meter. But once the meter came around till 1990 something, whenever he changed the definition, which was, I think, 97, because that's around when I quit. I was like, I'm done. That's it. No. It's even more symbolic that the pirate was standing on a chest full of money, like C of S robbing you of all your money. Exactly. It looked like it. And then to have him faint, or fall, was really funny. Really funny. No, that 49ers for life, that is a really good question, though. I'm going to put it up here again because I want people to remember this question. Have you seen Scientology put up videos of the members talking about how great of a human DM is? Now, I'll bet you they will now because you mentioned it. And we'll probably, they usually take about a month from whenever something bad happens or is brought to their attention. They have to go through all these things to, get it okay. But they'll probably we'll be seeing, let's see, what is it now? Christmas. So probably in the spring, we'll be seeing how wonderful David Miscavage is. And it's like, you know what, pal? It isn't going to fly. You go for it, man. You just go for it. Oh, God. Too funny. But a good question, really. Thank you for bringing that up, 49ers for life. And Marcy Dotes, that's very true as far as the symbolicness of him standing on a chest. Well, it was supposed to be a chest full of his books, but it probably was money. It looked really hokey. SP Crusader, wow, that is wild. Glad you got free. What did I miss? SP Crusader. Oh, yeah, that is cool. You were terrified of me when I was in and saw you protest. So you were a critic, though. So he didn't get free because he was, I think, unless I'm wrong. If you're SP Crusader, if you were in, let me know. Because if you were in, why would you be terrified of me? Unless maybe you were in and you left. And so you were terrified of me. Anyway, let me know. Let us know if you were in or not. Either way, I'm happy you're out. Glad you're free. Okay, and this is from Love It. Tori Magoo 44. Aaron has said that Louis Farrakhan of Nation of Islam gets commissions from Nation of Islam members doing, of course. No question about that. I'm not questioning that. I made the first video about Louis Farrakhan saying this is BS. I was in it for 30 years. They only had 5 Black people in 30 years that any of us knew. I used to ask them, why don't you get some more Black people in here? And African Americans. I mean, it is a huge community, and they have, really cool. They're really neat people. I used to sell jewelry, so I'd be in their areas, and they were wonderful people. But good old Scientology, but not somehow. You're right. Some kind of money connection was made. I'm just saying you can get FSM commissions from it, but I don't think that's the sole reason. I got to find out the true story behind it, because it's definitely something, but it is weird. You got to admit that. Okay, here's a question from Connie B. Does it cost money to be audited? Oh, yeah. Scientology is like a triangle, or used to be. It's changed a lot now. But they used to have it. We started at a mission with little courses, and they were like $40, $50. And then as you move up the triangle, it gets exponentially more expensive. And by clear, it's thousands of dollars. And then the OT levels are thousands and thousands of dollars. And it just goes on from there. So yeah, auditing is a lot of money. You can do co-auditing, though, which is where you would audit me and I would audit you. And I did that for the lower part of the bridge. I got trained as an auditor, and then I just said, let's do our grades together. So we did it that way. And then it's much less, it's very inexpensive that way. And an interesting thing, they trained me as a Flag Legionnaire, which is a person at Flag, to train people on how to do book 1, which is Dianetics, without an e-meter. So they would fly me around, and I would do these seminars and train people, and it was a 2-day seminar. And these people, these are just like regular people. They're not really Scientologists. None of them joined Scientology. They'd do the seminar, and then they'd start doing Dianetics out in the field. And they started writing in that they were going clear by themselves, just co-auditing like that. And next thing you knew, bam, the whole program canceled. The guy that ran it declared suppressive. I mean, it was a mess. Why? Because they were losing money. You don't want people going clear. Not really, not unless you're paying. So yes, it costs money. You were protesting. I was in. Oh, wait a minute. You were protesting? Now, wait a second. I got to get this straight. You were protesting and you were in. Okay, I get it. So this is after I had left, but you were still in. And so you were afraid of me because I was protesting. And you were here in LA or in Flag? Which area were you in? Anyway, I'm glad you're free. I really am. Good job. Question. On the Scientology cable TV channel, they are constantly mentioning God, but I didn't realize they believe in God. Hubbard had a thing, the 8 dynamics. And it's the first one is about yourself. The second one is family and children and sex. The third one is groups. The fourth one is all mankind. This is survival through each one of these dynamics. And it goes on from there. And the 8th dynamic is the survival of a supreme being, whatever you believe that to be. So he never really talks about God. They may be doing it now because they're trying to become real religion, and it's not really working. So now they're probably trying to do that. But in writing, he only talked about the supreme being, whatever you believe that to be. I never saw him mention God. I really didn't. Wondering why they're talking about that, because they want to be thought of as a real religion. And they know that unless they have, some kind of religious background, I mean, this Xenu shit isn't going to work. Come on. And nobody in Scientology knows about Xenu except the guys way at the top paying the most money. So I think it's tricky. It's going to be very tricky for them. The float thing sounds hilarious. I know. You've got to watch it. And you can just type in YouTube Scientology audits, and then if you need to, SteetsLA, because I think there's a few Scientology audits. But SteetsLA is the one you can probably just type in SteetsLA and see it. But it is very funny. Okay, witness. That's a good question, Jurgen. Okay. Yeah. It is a good question. And I think they're talking about it because they are trying to present themselves more as a religion than they used to. Originally when I got in, it was the science of the mind. I mean, it isn't like science of the mind. It was Dianetics, modern science of mental health. So they were pitching it as a science. It wasn't. And of course, a science, you can question everything. Scientology, you can't question anything. But you don't know that when you get in. That's kind of a slow train that you learn. Don't ask. I remember when Miscavage ripped off, what's the guy's name that was going to take over? It was L. Ron Hubbard's best friend. And anyway, it was after Hubbard died and he was going to take over. And then Miscavige zipped out and took over. And I was like asking somebody, what the hell? Who is this guy? What's going on? And they said, just don't ask, don't tell. Just keep going. It was just like, that's Scientology. Don't ask, don't tell. Because you're going to end up in ethics. Yeah, Leanie. Glad you're out now. Truly. SP Crusader. Tori, there are lots of cringe videos saying how great David is. Really? Wow. I guess I miss those days. Because luckily, I remember they came and asked me about my wins on OT7 when I was at Flag. And they were young kids in the Sea Org. And I said, listen to me very carefully. I have never had a win on OT7. And they all got white. They didn't know what to do with it. And I said, you can ask me about training. And I've had wins on training, but not with auditing. No. And they used to interview me every time they made videos. They interviewed me. Not after that. That was it. Until they put me in the magazine right before I escaped out. And I still have that magazine. Okay, so that's interesting to know, though, SP Crusader. I'm sorry to hear that, but DM sounds like an angry little man. Interesting. That's one of the things Mitch was talking about tonight, is that he felt like that. I don't know, that we were talking about people saying guys are little or short, that they're, and that it, even if he was tall, he's still a jerk. You know what I mean? So anyway, it was an interesting thing we were talking about. SP cringeworthy is a great description. It is. That is really good. Thank you, SP Crusader. I love that. SP cringeworthy videos. At one point, the CFS float was nearly crow surfing on Scientology. That's some pirate punk. I know, it's really funny that it happened right in front of the HGB where it deflated. It's like, oh my God. Okay, there is a video of the members. They must have been hired them to do it. Well, I've seen a bunch. They hired the Buddhist monks. I told you that, where they came in and said, well, L. Ron Hubbard was Buddha. And they were all dressed in Buddha garb and everything. And we were all like, we walked out and we said, somebody paid those guys a lot of money. We knew it was BS. It's like, why did they decide L. Ron Hubbard was Buddha? You know what it was? TR3. What is TR3? You can repeat the auditing question over and over and over until the person answers. And they didn't have that in Buddhism. Come on, give me a break. Pathetic. So yeah, you're right. JB808, a close friend of mine's dad is part of the Nation of Islam. Ooh, around 2007-08. When I was around 24, he suggested that I read. Ew, I told him, no, I don't believe in paying to advance in the religion. Good job, JB808. Good for you. Did you by any chance see my video, A Message to the African American Community? This lady called me about, it was really funny because I made the video, and then 2 days later, my friend said, turn on the TV. You're not going to believe it. And I said, what? And she said, turn it on. And I turned it on, and there was a guy saying, Louis Farrakhan is flipped out, and we're going to find out why we're having an expert on, and we're going to show her video. And they turned on A Message to the African American Community. It was my video. On Crow TV, that was it. Okay. So that is very interesting, JB808. Good job for you that you went, no, I don't believe in paying to advance in a religion. That is a good answer. As a witness said too. Love it. It's very true. And witness. Yeah, and me. It's like fantastic. Wow, not very diverse, those Scientologists. No, that is an understatement, but very true, Connie. Okay, Leanie. Okay, I was terrified of you because you'd hyped up to believe how terrible you all were, to stay away. You were angry and you'd stop at nothing. I feared for my life. Now, wait a second. Are you sure you're talking about me? I never was angry and telling people they had to fear for their lives. You'll have to show me the video, because I honestly, I was terrified of you because you hyped up to believe how terrible you all were, how terrible you all were, how terrible we were as ex-Scientologists. To stay away, you were angry and you'd stop at nothing. I'm not sure we're on the same page on this. You'll have to show me the video. You must have one. Anyway, I don't think so. I wasn't like one of those angry people. Thank you, love it. I only look back later and think, wow, I knew my shit. You did. You definitely did. And that's at a young age too. Really cool. Okay, Leanie, change times. Now I protest. The truth is on your side, on our side, yes, including yours. All right. Since my sleep schedule is all out of whack, might as well put on Tori and join the chat. Yeah. That's funny. Well, hopefully you can sleep soon. You were at St. Hill. I was never at. Oh, are you thinking of the one time I was with Anonymous? Are you talking about that time? I was never at St. Hill, but we were outside St. Hill with Anonymous protesting, if that's what you mean. Is that what you're talking about? Welcome, KPW. JB808, you definitely did. Yeah. Us night owls, that's right. JB808, witness crazy, eh? Super nice guy, but I don't think he recognized it as a cult. He never brought it up again. Good for you. You nailed him. I think you really did. You were spot on, and he knew it. And it's like, what are you going to do? Okay, Gregory. The Nation of Islam is not quite Islamic, and they are exceptionally racist. So much in common with CFS, which claims to be a church who is not. There you go. Well, it's still really fishy that they're together. I want to interview with Ish and talk to him about it. Witness says, so who's going to tell Miscavage not working? What the fuck? With the always attack. It comes from him. It's not like he doesn't know it. The supreme being, whatever you think that may be, is what the Masons say as well. Really? Wow, I didn't know that. Interesting. Okay, and love it. It's Gregory, 100%. Okay, and was it Pat Broker who you were thinking of? I think it was. Thank you, Rowan. Yeah, Pat and Annie Broker. And Miscavage, I asked Jesse Prince later, what the hell happened? Because I was at the event, and it was just so weird. And I said, what happened? And he said, do you really want to know? And I said, yeah, I really do. And he said, okay, basically Miscavage and a bunch of guys had taken, Hubbard said, look, you're making $1 million, you're making tons of money every week. So I want $1 million cash every week brought to me out at the ranch. And he lived up north on a ranch. So they would schlep over to Las Vegas, which is in Nevada, gamble and goof around. And then they'd go back to California and give Hubbard the money. And this went on, Vegas, Hubbard, back. Vegas, Hubbard, back. So now Hubbard dies. And it's supposed to, it's announced that the church is going to go to Pat and Annie Broker, his best friends. And the next thing you know, Miscavage is up there running the show. And Jesse said, Miscavage basically said to Pat Broker, either you get the hell out of here or I'm going to put you in prison for the rest of your life because you transported millions of dollars across state lines and never recorded it. And I guess it scared Pat Broker enough that he left. And Annie, they put on the RPF and she ended up dying there, which is really tragic. So that was that. DM has his own website? Are you serious? No, it's not really. It's just a bunch of knucklehead kids that are putting stuff up there trying to hype him up. But that's funny. I'll have to look it up. Thank you for letting me know that, Leanie. Okay, surely you're taking notes and relaying reliable info, right, Osa? Sure. We can count on that one, Witness. SP Crusader, I wonder if that's how the members feel about the protesters outside now. Oh, yeah. They inside, they always have the us versus them. It doesn't matter. There could be nobody outside. There could be angels flying around in front of the Church of Scientology, and they would be like, don't trust them. They're in angel outfits, but they're really evil people. And your only safe point is here inside Scientology. And that's how it works. That's it. So it absolutely, if people are yelling and, with signs and stuff like that, they've always been against the protesters, which is stupid. It just brings on more protesters. It's good for us. What's a win in auditing? Anything that makes you feel better. It's like you feel worse about something, that you talk it out with them, and now you feel better. That's a win. That's it. Feel. Yeah. Okay. Witness. You can hire anyone to do anything. It's silly. He was loony. Yeah. True. All right. Leanie, yes, word is someone left disgruntled and pays students elderly, and down and outs to protest. They are paid to cause trouble. That's the narrative in the UK. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, they've run that for years. How much are you getting paid by George Soros? It's like, oh, I didn't get my check this week. Darn. It's like so stupid. Okay, witness. What is sleep when you sleep? All right. And yes, as ex-Scientologists, we were hyped to believe you were angry. We couldn't even look at you, but you never were. Yes, you were protesting at the IAS event. Okay. Before you said, do you mean the IAS event here in LA or the one in London? Because you said St. Hill, and I don't know if you mean American St. Hill or St. Hill in England, because St. Hill usually means England. And I was there with Anonymous flew Bunker and I over there to protest with them. It was great. And we were just on a road outside of a big bush, like kind of like a forest. And then there was St. Hill over here. But we were on the road, right? And inside the bushes, inside the forest, was like an RV kind of thing, where you could store stuff. And this guy opens up the door, and there's all these folders, which is what they keep all your auditing stuff is in folders. So that's out in the woods, right near these anonymous guys. And I go like this. Out security, report, out security. And the guy jumps out of the thing, shuts the door, locks it up, and runs away. We cracked up. But that's the only thing that happened in London at St. Hill. If you mean somewhere else, then I think it's coming together. Yeah, because they're hyping that I'm angry. They're always saying that, just like I'm the CIA agent. It's like, come on. Yep, it's all pretty culty. Yep. Hi, Sophie. There you are. I just saw Tori was on. Yes, ma'am. We've been on for an hour and 47 minutes. Wow. I got to get to bed. Howdy, Sophie. Welcome home. I'm glad you're back. It was so fun to meet you. It really was. I'm so happy. Connie B, hi there. Witness says hello to Sophie. So cool. I'm really glad I got to meet you. Okay, question. Did L. Ron Hubbard claim that he was clear? It's a good question. I think so, but that's a good question. I don't really know. I really don't. I mean, I think he did because he came up with the concept. So I would think that he was clear number one, but that's a good question. We'll have to ask some people that were closer to him. Good question and good evening. Yeah, you guys are really on top of it. Oh, you need sleep. I bet. No kidding. Yeah, you got to rest for a few days after you've been away as long as you've been and so far away. So just take a few days to rest. DOA was telling the members going in that he has a bunch of wins today and asking them about their wins. It was funny. Well, okay. I always say I will sleep when I'm dead. That's really funny. Good one. UK St. Hill, yes, that protest. Okay, good. Okay, so we are talking about that. And that's the one where we were outside and I was like, out security. But that, I wasn't mad. We were having a great time. We had fun at that. And we met a taxi cab driver there that gave me his card. He said, "Here's my card." And I looked at it and it said, "I will take you wherever, if you're a Scientologist and you want to leave, I will take you wherever you want to go." And I said, "Really? Have you done this?" And he said, "Yep, I've already taken two or three people and gotten them out." I was like, "Oh, I love that story." Okay, here's Sophie says, "Don't forget to like, and sorry I'm late, somehow missed you were on. And yes, it was lovely to meet you. Felt like old friends." I know, that's the only thing. I wish we lived closer. That's true for everybody. I wish we all lived on the same block. It'd be so fun. Oh, we could have so much fun together. All right, Sophie, that was so awesome that you got to meet Tori. I remember we were talking about how we'd react if we got a chance to meet her. I know, it was really funny. It's just like, this is me. It's not like I'm something different if you meet me. Right, Sophie? I mean, different, like, "Oh yeah, I know her." Does DM claim he's clear? I have never heard him say that. I have not. No. But that isn't saying he doesn't. I've never really been near him except one time. I mean, I've been to events with him, but he doesn't talk about his own stuff. As far as I recall, L. Ron never made such a statement, but it's heavily inferred because he was the one to mark the way out. Yeah, I think that's correct. I don't really remember hearing him say, "I'm clear number one," but it's implied. And Miscavage, kind of the same thing. I don't even think people think Miscavage. Oh, good night, Rowan. Thank you for coming on. Come some more. It was really fun having you. Thank you. All right. And Sophie, Rowan is a person that I used to protest with for years. And we have some very funny videos together that we're trying to put somewhere where everybody can see the links. I know because she's as lovely. Aw, thank you. Thank you, Sophie. I feel the same about you. I felt like we were like sisters. It's the Late Late Show with Tori. I know it is. Oh, truly. Yep, this is me. Here we go. True. That sounds about right. Yeah. MD Media, Matt, was going around saying he has a blow-mobile, and if anyone wants to blow, he's there to help them go. Just so you know, I'm going to just clarify this right here, because, and I know, like, Blown for Good, that's his, nickname, and that's a great nickname. But just so you understand, blowing in Scientology means you're leaving because you have done bad deeds. That's what that means. And they go, "Oh, they blew." That means they left because they had overts or bad deeds. So that's why I started early on saying I escaped out, because the truth is they did chase me across the country. The Tampa police got me out of the Tampa airport. So it was an escape. And I wasn't blowing. You know what I mean? I don't have overts. I didn't leave because I had bad deeds and I didn't want anybody to know. So that's the only thing where I'd say the Blowmobile isn't the greatest name, because they'll immediately go, "Oh, that means somebody's done bad things and we haven't, so we're staying here." Good night, Rowan. I know. Thank you for coming. Come again. Okay, thank you so much for giving us the inside scoop. Appreciate your work so much. Missed you last night. Okay, all right, well, good. Lockbox, all right. I can totally see that. All the innuendo with Elrond's language blowing goldenrod. I know. It's stupid to the average person, but I'm just telling you that that's what's going to communicate. Yes, genuine shows through. Oh, I hope you're talking about me saying I'm genuine. You seem genuine. Soapy facts. Okay. What does that mean, Sophie? Facts. Oh, I'm glad you clarified the difference about blowing and escaping. I didn't know that. I know, I don't think a lot of people do. And I don't think they put it together. I'm a trained security checker only because you had to get trained in that to co-audit the false purpose rundown. And I didn't want to pay for it. So I said, okay, I'll do the training. So I got trained as a sec checker. But part of that is where you learn about people blowing and all this other stuff. I mean, you learn it in other places, but you really learn it there. And so I'm just like, I'm not going to say to anybody I know that leaves, they either escaped or they left or something else, but they didn't blow because they're not leaving because they did. And I don't even think blown for good. He didn't either. It's just back then, that's what they used to say. They used to say, oh, they blew, but you have to understand what you're communicating about when you say it. Their words mean a lot to them. Yes, Tori, I meant you are genuine. Thank you, Sophie. And JB saying facts means they agree with me. Thank you very much. Well, you are absolutely the same. I feel the same about you. You're wonderful. The only bummer for you was that you left. I was like, oh. But I hope you come back. All right. Sophie was talking about you when she said genuine shows through, and my response facts was in agreement. I love that. Thank you, JB808 and Sophie. Thank you both. You're very kind. Cool. What Sophie said. Very cool. All right, you guys. Well, we better take off because we've now been on for almost 2 hours. Wow. And there's only 85 of us here, but it's still kind of cozy, isn't it? It's a really sweet group of people. I love you guys. So thank you for being as cool as you are. Thank you for all of your input and things that you've said. And good night, all. See you next time. Take care, everyone. I feel the same. I love you guys. All right, I'm going to head out. I'm going to grab my coffee, put it in my refrigerator. Good night, Sophie. Good night, Connie. Good night, JB808. I don't think I can say good night to everybody, but yes, sweet dreams. Club Brain Fog. Wow. Happy drive-by. Cute. All right. Well, thanks for coming by. All right, you guys. Have a wonderful tomorrow. Hello, peeps from Griffith Park and the trails. Sorry about the sideshow. On the stairs there. Good night to everyone. Take care. Really. You're very welcome for spending time. Thank you guys for spending time with me. And don't worry. Jamie said, I'm sorry I'm late. You are, but you can watch the whole thing. You'll be able to see it. And it's okay. Thank you for coming. Hit the like button before you leave. Thank you, Becky Sam. I appreciate that. And adios. I will see you soon. All right. Adios.